you feel like the country is going off the rails. Your Twitter poll, 80% of people saying politics is crazier than it was 10 years ago. I wrote about this today, and one of the ways I like to torture my guests is to put things that I've written on the screen. This is F4. And I was just thinking about the last week of what seems like a lot of people getting blackpilled in MAGA world. And I can't tell if it's just a very online phenomenon. And if even it is just an online phenomenon, whether it's fleeting. Trump is correct that he could shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and a lot of his supporters would stay with him because they see him as a lesser of two evils option compared to the left. And that's something the media doesn't understand. But the 50-year mortgages, that felt like the dam bursting open. Then there was the H-1B comment to Laura Ingraham about him saying, no, America doesn't have the workers, when she pushed back and said, why can't American workers do this? It comes on top of the off-year election losses last week. Not surprising, but some pretty big margins in New Jersey and Virginia. So are you getting the same sense that I am? I've just seen more and more this week of people like genuinely starting to become disillusioned with MAGA.
I wouldn't say genuinely. If someone can go to one that you produce, go to my Twitter and pull up the cycle I have with the 4 arrows, it's really going to be right towards the top. This happened before. Emily, you and I can name dozens of people because Trump pushed the vaccine. Oh, I'm never going to vote for this guy. He gave us Fauci. They ran the table. He gave us lockdowns. This is ridiculous. And then, a couple of years later, it's like, oh my God, the left has gone crazy. Yeah, there you go. This is the cycle. If you scroll it up, so you can see
that's really funny.
The fourth arrow. Yeah. This is it. It's this. They had remember in 2020 when there was 2022. Excuse me. There was supposed to be a red wave, and every single person Trump endorsed in a swing race lost, or almost everyone, right? Dr. Oz, there was a Herschel Walker in Georgia,
right?
And people were, and that's why all those Republicans ran in the primary, because they're like, people are done with him and his nonsense. There's a lot of talk that he's not electable again because people had soured on him, and then that campaign was a masterstroke. Whoever coached him in that first debate should get like a Nobel Prize or something, because to have Donald Trump sit there and let Biden hang himself and bite his tongue was something we've never seen before or since. It was absolutely out of character for him. And this kind of stuff, people like it. If Trump's whole persona is, I'm a winner, come with me, you're going to win. When you stop winning, it's like, okay, this guy's a phony. And people revert to that. So I to your point, though, I think MAGA and Trump are synonymous. I don't think
that's
you
a
can
good point.
A MAGA movement without Trump. You could have nationalism, you could have populism, you could have all these things, but MAGA just means this loose collection of things that Trump kind of likes and Trump kind of doesn't. I don't think it's, broadly speaking, a well-developed ideology, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's a politician, not a philosopher.
Well, the well-developed ideology is political pragmatism.
That's right.
I think that's right. And so with Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think it is true that she represents the average MAGA voter, but nobody can truly represent true MAGA, pure MAGA, better than Donald Trump himself. Nobody can ever claim that mantle because it is Trumpism, pure and simple, and that's right. Pragmatism. He's willing to, at one point he was willing to make a deal on DACA with Nancy Pelosi. That was like 2018, somewhere around there.
In 2018, when they won the House, he said Nancy Pelosi deserves to be, because there was some buzz about some Democrats said they would not vote for her. Remember, they ran for re-election in 2018. Yep. She was a polarizing figure. They said, I'm not voting Pelosi. It looked like she wouldn't have the votes. And Trump said she deserves to be, he tweeted this out, it's still up there. She deserves to be speaker. And if the Democrats don't have enough votes, we'll get the Republicans to do it. He endorsed McConnell. He said McConnell's terrific. So, he's been all over the map on several issues, but people don't remember these things.
Well, okay, so I think your cycle graphic is actually very accurate. On the other hand, though, I think the way that I was seeing it over the course of this week, I'm going to share this post too, is that there's something felt a little bit different. I think it's always good to remember, especially with these midterm cycles, exactly what you were talking about. I don't know if you saw this from Savannah Hernandez, who's she's a TPUSA contributor, and she wrote, I'm tired of based social media videos and big talk from the administration with zero follow through. We voted for home affordability and we were given 50-year mortgages and debt slavery. People disagreeing with the speed of the deportation. She goes on and says people are being arrested for, quote, anti-Semitic attacks. Meanwhile, it's Christian children who are being targeted. She goes on and says, don't get me started on the DOJ's priorities of lack thereof. And at one point says, because Americans voted to feel safe, prioritized, and protected, and every time we try to voice our concerns, we are labeled as anti-MAGA, anti-Israel, or anti-Trump for bringing forth substantial criticism of the direction of the party. She ends by saying, it's our job to openly put the pressure on when we don't feel the country is headed in the right direction. If we refuse to do so, we're no better than the entire left who refused to criticize Biden for his entire administration.
Okay, so I really hate this kind of binary talk.
Let's go.
The idea that the entire left didn't criticize Biden for his entire administration is false. At the very least, there was huge criticism of him about what he did with Israel. So that's a very low-hanging fruit.
I see what you're saying.
And there's lots of other things where people went after him for not going far enough or so on and so forth. So it always looks on this side of the fence like everyone on the other side's united. That's not at all the case. Second of all, Trump doesn't have a governing majority in the House. What do they have, 218 seats, 219 seats?
Yeah.
He could only afford to lose like 1 or 2 votes to have anything. Imagine trying to get 219 people to agree on what movie to watch. 219 people to agree on where we're going to have dinner. It's not a thing. And they all have egos, and some more than others. So for her to say, if you put up the tweet back at, can you put the tweet back up?
Yeah, of course.
For her to say, look at that thing, scroll up to the beginning, where she says, we voted for mass deportations. We can't even get Garcia out of our country. You're telling me, she says zero follow through. He's not making the biggest effort on deportations that any of us have seen in our lifetime since Eisenhower. I mean, I think it's fair to criticize him, but I remember, here's the thing. I hate this when people have these short memories. In 2024, a lot of people voted for Trump being like, you know what? If he just closes the border and puts a little bit of a stop to DEI, I'll be happy with it. Mm-hmm. The expectations were quite low. And I think it's very clear that he met those low expectations. He did stop DEI, and the border is being taken seriously as an issue. Governor Pritzker recently admitted, he had a slip of the tongue. He said, oh, well, we used to have a problem with the border, blah, blah, blah. It's like, when? Because you were saying there was no border problem. Now, like, oh, we used to have a problem. Oh, it got resolved.
I wonder what happened.
In politics, when you succeed, it's like, what have you done for me lately? So I think it's kind of ridiculous when he's very clearly had the best first 100 days of any president in our lifetime. He does not have the governing majority in the House. There's only so much a president can do. And I don't think I think she's right about the 50-year mortgages. She's right about the H-1Bs. But at the end of the day, I think he has really done better as president. We all remember his first term. Like I don't think there's a single person on earth who could say with a straight face, Trump 2 isn't an infinite improvement as president over Trump 1. It's not possible. So I think she's right to criticize him, but to say that he has zero follow through or didn't deliver, I think that's not reasonable.
Your last point is one that I just want to focus on a little bit more, because I thought what she said about some on the right, and it sounded like she was talking about the influencer sphere being uncomfortable with criticizing Trump, was interesting, because what I sensed was from her an exasperation with, being mad about the 50-year mortgages, being mad about the H-1Bs. I think your rebuttal on the point about immigration is absolutely accurate. Like the left is freaking out about the speed of the deportations and doing everything, including like putting their bodies in front of ICE vehicles, right, in order to stop it.
And assaulting ICE agents.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. So, but overall, I sense that there's just like, I don't know, a frustration.
Yes.
That calling out the administration. Like I was thinking about this a couple of weeks ago, just looking at the top of the podcast charts, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, you can include Fuentes in this without getting into the Fuentes can of worms, just to say that a lot of the most popular podcasters right now, Andrew Schultz, another good example, Tim Dillon, good example, they're being critical of the administration.
Oh, yeah.
And the influencers on the right actually aren't. Like they're still acting like it's kind of 2016, 2017 cheerleading for Trump. And to me, it just seems like people are genuinely missing that there's an appetite for some more nuance in the Trump conversation from the right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that people like nuance at all. But I do think they want criticism, because here's the thing: if you can't get an airplane, and
right,
if I'm the chaos candidate, if I'm the guy who comes to Washington and F shit up, when shit's effed up, it's my fault. That's the perception, right? Because I'm the guy who brings the.
I mean, I blame you every time a flight is delayed. I'm just like,
well, I have the guy sitting on that wing tearing up the things like the Twilight Zone.
A colonial woman on the wing.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you have such a good track record and things come to screeching halt, people get bored and they're like, okay, what next? And I also think at the end of the day, our system does not make it easy even if there were none of these marches, to rip people from their homes and throw them out. There has to be due process, understandably. So yeah, it's he knew this was going to be an uphill climb, and I don't know any politician in our lifetime who's tried to take this more seriously.
So have you ever noticed those creepy ads? I know you have, that pop up on your phone and seem to know exactly where you've been, what you've bought, even what you've been talking about. This happened to me one time in the most specific way ever. Absolutely wild and creepy. You've probably asked yourself, is my phone monitoring me? Yes, I've asked myself that question. I know you have too. The truth is your smartphone is constantly collecting and leaking data without your knowledge or consent. Every day it builds a detailed profile of your life, your location, your habits, your interests, even the people with whom you are communicating. That information is funneled into an invisible marketplace where it's tracked, analyzed, and sold to the highest bidder, which, by the way, can include the government, of course. It's not just annoying, it's invasive, it's so creepy, and it's happening all of the time. But the Up phone by Unplugged is different. It's totally different. It's similar to other phones that you've used in a way that it's just super accessible, easy to blend in. I have it right here in my hand. It's easy to switch from one phone to the Up phone. So similar in that sense, but totally different when it comes to privacy and tracking. It is designed actually to protect your privacy from the ground up. Super cool. No hidden trackers, no data mining, just a secure, streamlined smartphone experience that puts you back in control. Whether you're texting, browsing, or using apps, the Up phone ensures your personal information stays personal. It's the phone for people who are done being watched. The tools on this thing are absolutely incredible. It's giving me, like I'm pulling it up right now, giving me a data warning, gives you a firewall, constant information, all of that good stuff. So, but it functions really easily and really smoothly. So again, if you're ready to take back your digital privacy, visit unplugged.com/Emily to get $25 off a phone case with a purchase of a phone. That's unplugged.com/Emily, because your life should be yours, not theirs.